And this is my problem with the nation, is that
Mm-hmm.
they want me to work to serve also without hearing me out. Because I brought our issues, our marital issues, to them as well when I was fed up a few weeks ago. They all immediately took Chief's side. So at
Mm-hmm.
that point, it was just like they're just
Mm.
gonna be loyal to him. So I don't have to perform for them either, if that's how it is.
Okay.
Nobody's curious, nobody's asking questions. Twice we had conversations with the nation, and both times they all took Chief's side just like that.
Right. And is it as expected? Because, and this is a thing,
And
it's
that I say
important to.
it's expected. Yes, we've all been very dedicated and devoted to Chief. So now it's like, hey, what's wrong with you? How come you just like switching? Like everybody's asking me that because I was the most die hard, ride hard for him. I wrote
Mhm.
songs about him and our love and our union and everything like that. And I recently pulled it from YouTube and SoundCloud as well. Like, no, I'm not gonna be humiliated, betrayed, uncovered, abused, neglected, and act like everything is okay. Not for the rest of my life.
Right.
No, maybe you got me, got me. You got me for these 12 years. You got it. But I'm
Mhm.
not going to keep on going with this farce.
Right. So there's two things you're up against here, right? You're
Yeah.
up against your husband and you're up against the nation. And we have to separate those two things, right? We don't want to allow our emotions to lead, right? I hear you that you feel humiliated, you feel betrayed, you feel like they've turned their backs on you despite your service to the nation, right? You do deserve better, right? You do
Mm-hmm.
deserve better and you deserve an ear. But I don't know how much, I don't know the dynamics of the nation, right? I don't know what their values are on loyalty, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is where it becomes tricky when one person becomes enlightened. When we become enlightened, we start to question those legalisms,
Mm-hmm.
right? If they are loyal to chief, there will probably be a reason why they are loyal to chief, right? The matriarch is the matriarch always, the patriarch always right?
Mm-hmm.
Is the chief always in the right, right? And does the matriarch have to submit, right? Does the
Mm-hmm.
matriarch not have a life of her own, right? So when we come to and we start to become enlightened that, oh, suddenly in 12 years' time, I've been serviceable to these people, I've been loyal to my marriage, I've been loyal to the nation, and one day I missed a meeting and everywhere is burning down for real, right? So now we look at it, now we shift from that loyalty to we start to question. And the minute we start questioning, it's good in the sense that you're becoming empowered, you're going to become your own person. But on the other hand, you risk alienation from the nation because they're not into that. They don't care what's going on in your marriage. If you're the matriarch, you're the matriarch. You make it work, make your home work, make the nation work, make everything work, right? No
Mm-hmm.
one is thinking about your feelings, your emotions, or anything like that. No one cares if you're fed up, you took the role, right? And so you see questions like, does she still want to be matriarch or not? Because they are focused on you in the role and not you as a person,
Right.
right? It's you being in the role and not you as a person. If you like, are you Christian?
No, and in fact, they are like the beginnings of our teachings was through Dr. Malachi York. He taught like from the 60s to 90s. And the last stage of his teachings was called Nuapu, which is the science of sound right reasoning. And so
Mm-hmm.
it's like, yeah, I see now a lot of the older ones, including Chief, that are in the nation, were part of some of those older Islamic schools for a little bit before it grew into Nuapu. I came along in the Nuapu stage, and so I thought Chief and I were a good match because he was more on the Nuapu side than the Islamic schools that he took people through. He took them through different Christian schools, Islamic schools into Nuapu. But anyway, I'm realizing that he still has a lot of that kind of dogma about women being submissive and just fulfilling a
Yeah.
role and not really being seen. Like, I'm seeing that now for the first time. Like, oh, this is where all of this is coming from. You, yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
bet you think I'm unclean. Like, and then here he is talking about the stink females. I don't know if I told you that part. He was sharing a video.
Yes, we don't know that
So
part. Yeah.
this any man, I think, that would share something like that,
Yeah.
like that is
It won't.
way beneath his position as a plenipotentiary, a husband, a man with a daughter, all of that. Like, that was so base. And so it's like, if anybody could still be eating up this stuff that he's doing at this point, it's like, oh yeah, they're just diehard Chief fans because he's
Oh
not
yes.
being proactively doing something. And it's like I said, at the same time, I'm depending on these people financially, so I don't want to turn them off completely. But as soon as I get that check from the child tax credit, it's like, as soon as I get that check from the child tax credit, it's like, as soon as I get that check from the child tax credit, it's like, say, think what you
I'm
want
done.
to think. You know, think what you want
Mm-hmm.
to think.
Yeah, exactly. Because even with him as well, if he's also in that role of patriarch and your matriarch, right? What is your role in the home? Is it just the woman, the keeper of the house, the keeper of the children, and there's no emotions involved, right? So again, people like that, if they haven't been nurtured in emotions, people can't give what they don't have,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
If he doesn't have that even for himself, then he will even have any for you, right? But
Mm-hmm.
then he can take on that patriarch role and do all that facade out there because he's following a structured rule of who he should be as a patriarch. And the same will apply to you. People will also be thinking, who should you be as a matriarch, right? Why should your issues at home affect your duty as matriarch? And that's the problem because if they see you as matriarch, then you're matriarch, not Nicole,
Mm-hmm.
right? If Nicole is angry with her husband, Nicole is still matriarch. You do what you have to do. If your daughter is in the hospital, you're matriarch. You do what you have to do. Because then those kind of beliefs put people in a very boxed way of thinking,
Mm-hmm.
right? If you say your marriage is not working, well, Chief is ultimate, Chief is superior. We side with him. We are not interested in the other side of the story, right? And it's not that these people don't care. They are being driven by a doctrine that demands that kind of behavior,
Mm-hmm.
right? Such that if you now are that one person that stands out, which is because in 12 years, like you say, you've never missed a meeting. They don't care. You've missed a meeting. The matriarch has missed a meeting to them. And that is a big thing. So if your husband overlooked it, someone will bring it up. And if that person brings it up, that can indirectly bring his own integrity into question.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
I get
So
that.
now,
I get that. That I think at the same time, because this is where we have another fundamental difference, is he thinks there has to be a winner and a loser. A win-win outcome would have been to tell me, hey, a Fairty wants to know why he didn't come on. You should give him a call. Or when a Fairty asked him, say, hey, give Sa a call. Ask her. Why couldn't
mhm,
that have happened? Why did it have to be sprung on me by surprise?
mhm. And we don't know. how that conversation went, right? We don't know how much of that conversation he's revealed to you that has caused him to take all these courses of action, right? We don't know a lot of things, especially for someone that doesn't communicate at an emotional level,
Mm-hmm.
right? So now he's gone right back to wearing that chief hat, and now he's cracking the whip on the matriarch, not on his wife, not on Nicole, on the matriarch,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, he's
right?
always cracking the whip. It's like we he doesn't relax out of that role, and so that's why I felt
Mm-hmm.
like I don't really have a husband in all this. I have a
Yes,
boss, and I'm just his work mule, and that's where I'm just
yes,
like,
and
oh,
that would be
hmm,
a problem in the relationship, right? Because again, he's working under a strict set of laws that haven't really, that may or may not look like sharing the space, right? We're gonna continue to be respectful towards each other. We're gonna co-parent. What are we not gonna do? Are we not gonna be intimate? No sex, no kissing, nothing. We are just sharing this space and continuing to give the kids a stable home.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, and I feel like that's what I should turn this meeting into instead of it being like a let's lambaste Nicole for not coming on the New Year's meeting or the New Year's celebration. Let's turn it into help us with the parameters of how we move forward because I'm not interested in going back into a relationship now. He has like we've been here for over a year, and so he is showing that he wants to stay married, not by saying exactly why. When I asked him the other night, why do you want to stay married, and then he
Mm-hmm.
responds with, I thought she wasn't talking about anything anymore, because he tried to have conversation earlier before that and it turned into a whole bunch of other stuff, and it's just like a circular conversation. So I was like, I'm not gonna talk about this here now. And this is the email that he sent out saying, reminder that all are to send their 3 questions to Sa, that's my indigenous name, regarding her deciding whether to stay as matriarch or resign her position as matriarch. We will be having this meeting next Thursday, July 21st. We will have an Asakata meeting where we will discuss the matriarch's conduct on June 25th and not attending or acknowledging our nation on our New Year's, and whether she still wants to continue as matriarch of our nation. Send your questions to the matriarch, maximum 3 questions, and CC myself so she can answer them before the meeting. We will discuss her answers on the meeting on July 24th. This will be in accord with our Constitution, Holy Tabernacle Family Guide, Holy Tabernacle Purity and Neatness, which are attached to this email. Any questions, do not hesitate to contact me. So
Okay.
I've received one set of questions already from someone in our nation, and I was sitting here looking to respond to it, and at the same time feeling like, why can't I have some time to myself to just really process everything? Why is he rushing this publicly when we don't have a plan privately for how to like kind of finagle this so that people don't lose uh, trust in our image and our brand, if you will. And I know that I took a risk in wrecking the brand, if you will, by not coming on the New Year's. And I know that I took a risk in wrecking the brand, if you will, by not coming on the New Year's. And I know that I took a risk in wrecking the brand, if you will, by not coming on the New Year's. And an eye for an eye, none of that is good and everything like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well then in that case, let's not get things mixed up, right? Looks like there's a lot happening here. So his chief, his husband, his father, and whatever else he is on social media, right? So with him sending that letter, he's sending it as chief,
Mm-hmm.
right? So again, I'm not familiar with your constitution, and what that means for him wearing these different hats, right? So, as chief, is he allowed to show favoritism because you are the matriarch? Because if he's not, if people are looking to him to lead by example, if another important personality didn't show up at the New Year's meeting, how would everyone have addressed that? And when you look at the cultures and the culture and the values or the beliefs around who the matriarch is, what the matriarch represents, how high up there in the scale of severity was your absence, right? Those,
Mm-hmm.
because we don't want to blend personal things and official things, right? That's why sometimes married people shouldn't work together, because there will be a lot of blurred lines between personal and official matters, right? And if one person takes personal matters too serious and it is able to like this this look, I can't talk today, and disconnect themselves from marital matters, it's problematic because then you're having different expectations of him, like cover me, root for me, stand for me, right?
Right.
Now that is us saying that you as my husband should do those things. But him as chief, will he treat someone else in that same way? Right. But
No. I have a
mm-hmm,
perfect
right,
example. Because you were
right.
asking a longtime nation member, his brother fell into a coma and he started being at his bedside more than he was attending our nation meetings. And so that became
Mm-hmm.
problematic. He was given notice that, hey, we're going to have a meeting about how you are
Yeah.
dishonoring the nation by being at his bedside rather than, functioning for the
Yes.
nation. So that right there
Yes.
to me is classic. He got notice that this is what the meeting is going to be about. Chief had been,
Mm-hmm.
letting him know that he was spending too much time. Chief didn't tell me
Mm-hmm.
anything about, oh, that was bad that you didn't come on the meeting. He smiled in my face. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what I can't stand is that betrayal and the public
Right.
humiliation that's
Okay.
intentional from me
Okay.
versus what he gave to Ashachak.
Okay. Let's break that down a little bit, right? So, like you said, you see it as betrayal and you see it as intentional, right? So, what if for him you didn't come to the meeting? What if it was fine, right? At that point, and he was like, okay, eye for an eye, I can live with it. Suddenly, someone brings it up,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because the minute someone brings it up, that is the person challenging his integrity.
Mm-hmm.
That your wife didn't show up, how come you're acting like it's okay,
Mm-hmm.
right? And they're not seeing you as wife, they're seeing you as matron,
Yeah, it's like,
right?
wow, I don't even know how to heal right. So I'm glad I'm in counseling. Everything I think is
Mm-hmm.
something to do is not it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I
Right.
need more
And
consistent
it's exactly
counseling.